Hello YouTube, this is jexamwolfexia, and I know I've said a few times already that I'm doing a custom Gundam model, and I've actually been working on that today. And without further ado, I bring you the completed version. However, I do want if you give me a second, I'm gonna find a part, because, screw. Okay, 2 seconds. Shoot. Okay, here we go. Okay. Well, you guys, I've displayed this pretty explicitly in all of my other videos that I am a huge not fan of the GN Sword 2s, these, that turn into the very not rifle looking GN rifle 2s. Here we go. Nah, nah, nah. Which actually from the sides do look a little like an AK. But oh well. But actually, because I'm not gonna be doing a total I'm not Bandai basically. I got a new Gundam 00 riser kit, so I got both the riser and the 00. And actually, I got the GN condenser type, so I did also get the GN condensers, which they're pretty cool. They look good on the Gundam 00. I'm gonna do a review. I'm gonna pop those in as a mini review on my full sets. And oh crud, why did you break Gundam 00? Okay, well, why did your waist fall apart? Ah. Yeah, so I ended up repainting the GN Rifle 2s, the GN Sword Rifle 2s, and here's what mine look like now. I did silver on the hand guards, the blades, and I did dark blue on the shield, or whatever the heck that thing is, the beam piece. And so now my guy has 2 of these in their custom colors. And before I show you the Gundam, I'm going to show you the O-Riser, because it will give you a little hint at the color scheme of this guy. Here's the O-Riser in its new custom version. And actually, this is more of a custom than you may be able to tell. But I really like the way this guy came out. Here's his sides, the binders. And if you look, the binders are actually backwards. On this one, the blue pieces are forward, and that helps when these are pointed down on the Gundam. You know what? I'll show you. Here we go. Gundam 00 with his GN drives over his shoulders. I'm going to pop a riser piece from each one onto the shoulders and show you the difference. This is the first time I've actually used this riser. Well, anyway, yeah. Here you go. On this one, on mine, aside from being a totally different color scheme altogether, the GN condensers are not down like this. The particle output, they're up, which is partially due to the fact that the Gundam Grey Wolf that I'm building, which is not done, I still have to do a lot of custom work on it, like a few custom parts that I'm building, a few custom details still, but he's mostly done, so I'm going to show him to you. The Gundam Grey Wolf is an attack Gundam, so whereas this one would point those back like this and have the forward pieces going back when it's flying, this one would point them forward like this, so it can still utilize the riser's machine guns, which are right there, for those of you who don't know. Right there. It's a little nub in the bottom there. But yeah, so that's the reason I went with that idea. And because it has these 2 nice little lines there that I could panel line really easily that give a little more blue to the overall Gundam, because when I finished this guy, he was a lot of silver, not a lot of blue, and I didn't really like it, so I'm trying to find other places where I can put blue in. But I think the riser turned out pretty well. I'm really a fan of my coloring on the riser. And I also did the GN sword, the GN shields. However, I don't think I'm going to use them with him. This Gundam came with the custom Celestial Being decals, which I put on there. But I also painted the shield blades, so they're all green with silver in the center. I may end up using them with this guy, but they look sort of out of place on him anyway, so I don't think I am. Either that or I'm going to damage my old ones and use these with the double O, and then just put them on there as sort of like an equipment piece or something, I don't know. But, so anyway, without further ado, started out looking like this, he ended up looking like this. I really like my paint job on this guy. I know I sound sort of conceited talking about it like this, but I really do like this guy's paint job. And I'm going to start at the bottom. All silver feet, all silver legs, green drive casings, blue knees, which that really sort of offsets the silver. Then you have the knees there. Then you have the blue grips for the wrists, silver arm guards with blue lining, with blue panel lining, silver waist piece with blue gem in the center, silver front skirt, silver back skirt, silver side skirts, silver GN drives, and actually I did some custom work on the GN drive casings, which I'm going to show off. On this one, it has a silver top with a blue stripe. That's like sort of, I guess, a commander stripe, I guess. Going back to my Star Wars roots, trying to make him look like a clone commander a little bit. Then on this one, I did some custom weathering, like he got hit on this side and chose not to have it repaired because it looked cooler, which it does. And so yeah, the last piece I have to do on this guy before I'm done is the GN sword, is the GN beam saber handles. I gotta paint those silver. But, I mean, the GN swords, the GN sword 2s, I've never liked them, but I have no problem with them in sword mode. The rifle mode is what I hate about them. So just, I mean, as an extra weapon, because I am making GN claws for this guy, I'm making them out of my old Exia parts. I have a lot of old GN swords, the blades that Ian Vashti gives him. I have four extra sets because of all of the kits that I have. And there you can see the sabers. That's not a problem for me. Having him use them in sword mode has never been a problem. I'm actually thinking of modifying this even further and making some little clasps that I can put so that when it's in rifle mode he could just be firing this, which looks better actually. Here, I'll show you. It looks like the GN pistols that Caradum has in a way. Which I'm actually thinking of adding a set on here because I have 3 sets now. Because I have my old Caradum, which I'm not going to show because I tried to custom detail it and failed horribly. And I have my new Caradum, which is pretty darn good, which was the GNHW-A version, so he came with 2 sets of pistols. But there. So if you look, I think that looks a lot better than with this useless piece of junk on the end. I mean, that doesn't even look like a rifle to me. Which is why he's only probably going to be using them in sword mode on my display shelf. Which are finally built, by the way. I know I probably haven't talked about that project, but I built some display shelves in my room for Gundams and such. And another custom detail, silver top fins and a blue V-fin with a blue crystal instead of red, blue goatee, stock green eyes, and on the shoulder, I know you've probably been seeing this, and I know it's very badly painted on there right now, but I'm actually going to make it better in time after this dries. But that's my custom crest. It's I originally made it for a game that I was playing called Arcane Legions, which you choose a division, either Roman, Egyptian, or Han, which is Chinese. And then you basically have warriors from that division, and then you fight. I was the Roman commander. My commander name was Scipio II, and so I made that to sort of look like a scorpion head, because Scipio has always reminded me of Scorpio, which obviously reminds you of scorpions. So yeah, but enough jibber jabber. Let's move on to see what this guy looks like with his riser attached. And I'm actually thinking of making a secondary package on this guy so he doesn't always have to have the O-riser, or the twin drive even. I'm actually thinking of making a second pack for this guy because I do have the pieces. Because I mean, this guy really is meant to be sort of an attack Gundam. I mean, Grey Wolf, it sounds sort of like menacing, sort of. Then again, that's coming from the guy who's obsessed with wolves. But here we go, we're almost done. The riser attachment. Which this guy's riser attachment is actually a lot more complicated because you have to move more parts. Here we go. There, that's the riser attached to him. And now these are thrusting down, which would not exactly be good in a battle situation. That's the one thing I haven't compensated for yet. When he's just wanting to float there, he has to be standing there with this huge thing over his head. Like this. That looks a little ridiculous, but hey, I can compensate for that. He doesn't actually have to have them on, does he? He doesn't have to be using the thrust, I don't think. He'd just be using his backpack thrusters. Yeah, but still does everything the old Gundam 00 can do. However, he looks, in my eyes, a lot cooler than this guy. I like this guy a lot more any day. Oh, and another thing, if you look at the top of the chest plate, it's silver. The bottom is blue. You can't see the top much when I hold it straight on, so you miss a lot of the custom detailing. And look at that. I actually did that better than I had hoped, and not getting it in the line between the cockpit and the shoulders. But I actually, I didn't paint these while they were on the model. I painted them on the sprues, so if you can see there's a lot of silver still on the sprues. And actually, I ditched Gundam marker altogether. I used it for a few pieces, then I just said, you know what, screw this. It's annoying. So then I went back to using silver Sharpie, which worked significantly. Why did your waist pop off again? Better. Okay. That's the one problem I have with the Gundam 00 kits, with the Gundam 00 model. His waist likes to pop off when you try to disengage the riser from the back and not holding it correctly. Here we go. But yeah, and because it's a new riser, it's not as tight as an old riser. There we go. But yeah, I'm significantly happy with this guy. And I really do like the shields. However, I'm thinking of taking out the blades on my other GN shields, painting them the cobalt, then having them on there as a different type of equipment or something. I don't know. But yeah. So be expecting another update on this maybe tomorrow. But I actually have a project, a school-related project to work on for the break now, so I'm going to be cutting this video a tad short. Which, actually I should be staying under 15 minutes. But I'm going to be cutting this video a tad short, because I always run over anyway. So yeah, this is jexamwolfexia and the Gundam 00 Grey Wolf out.